How to become a great machine hunter in Horizon Zero Dawn. I got some combat tips for you in this video. Any questions, drop them down in the comments down below and don't forget to hit that like button. My first tip during a fight would be keep your enemy in sight at all times, because if you don't know where the enemy is, he might surprise you with an attack that could cause a lot of damage. If you know what he does and when, you can then counter him. For example, after an attack from this sawtooth, he's recovering, so then I can, let's say, hit him with my spear. You also know when they will attack because the red eyes that start flashing. All the enemies have something like that, so if you concentrate on those signs, you know when to roll away. You saw me knock back this sawtooth that he got on his back and wasn't able to do anything. And this is actually a skill that I used a lot in Horizon Zero Dawn versus smaller but also versus larger enemies. Going for the knockback skill early on really gives you an advantage, because when the enemy is knocked down, he can't do anything and you can also follow up with a critical hit that does a lot of damage. Okay, I already discussed this in my regular tips and tricks video, so let's get back to the hunting. One skill that I found super handy when fighting machines, aka bosses in the game, was the double shot and triple shot skill. With these skills you shoot 2 and with triple shot even 3 arrows at the same time. Shoot at the weak point of the enemy and it will immediately break, and this can really give you the upper hand. For example, against his Thunderjaw, if you kill the machine guns on his head, he will not be able to use them, so then you know that you can't expect that attack anymore. With double shot and triple shot, you only need one hit to get the job done if you really aim right. And it of course also depends on the ammo you use. Not all components, but some components can be knocked off easily with a Tear Blast arrow, so it's good to shoot that first when you engage a machine. So here, for example, against the Thunderjaw again, shoot a Tear Blast on his back, then his weapon gets knocked off and they can use it against him. But also against other enemies like this Snapmaw, if you use it then components get lost, you get a ton of XP, and yeah, he can't use these components. Like I said, not everything can get knocked off with these Tear Blast arrows, so after that you will have to use the shoot 2 or 3 arrows at the same time tactic. Speaking of arrows, shooting fire arrows at machines that are weak against fire obviously also works, but you probably already knew this. It's smart to scan the machine before you engage and then see, they're weak against fire arrows, let's use that. But you will see that using 1 fire arrow at a time doesn't really do much. Shooting 3 at once though really helps. The machine will get burned and get a lot of damage over time and can really give you the upper hand. You see the burning icon on top of the health bar of the machine, and sometimes you can just wait before they die because they get so much damage over time. This is another great use of the double and triple arrow, because elemental arrows that you shoot 2 or 3 at a time, it's way more effective. Another skill that I praised in my other tips and tricks video is the Thinker. That will let you change modifications without them getting destroyed. And this is great because when fighting different kind of machines, it's also super handy to change your modifications accordingly. For example, against the Snapmaw, you want to use these freeze damage reductions, so you will simply not feel the pain from these freeze bumps. Against the Thunderjaw and other enemies that charge at you, you want to have melee damage reduction because their range attacks can easily be blocked. Apart from knowing what kind of arrows you need to use, scanning is also nice to know which modifications you can use. And yeah, that's about it for my Horizon Zero Dawn combat tips. Like I said, I also have a regular tips and tricks video up on the channel, so be sure to check it out. As for the combat, I really only use 2 weapons in the whole game a lot. Okay, I toyed around with the Tripcaster and the slingshot, but I mostly switched back to my sharpshoot bow and my hunter bow because I just like them more and they get the job done just fine. Did I miss any tips? Let me know in the comments down below. Watch my other videos about Horizon Zero Dawn, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you did, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.